Welcome to our channel, the GK Time. Today we are going to learn general knowledge questions about India. Which is the largest irrigation canal in India? Answer: Indira Gandhi Canal. How many islands are there in Lakshadweep? Answer: 36 islands. How many kilometers of coastline does India have? Answer: 7516.6 kilometers. Which latitude line passes through India? Answer: Tropic of Cancer. Which is the highest dam in India? Answer: Terry Dam. What is the southern tip of India? Answer: Cape Comorin. Which is the national vegetable of India? Answer: Pumpkin. How many states are there in India? Answer: 28 states. Which is the national bird of India? Answer: Peacock. Which is the longest beach in India? Answer: Marina Beach. How many languages does the Indian Constitution recognize? Answer: 22 languages. Which is the longest bridge in India? Answer: Dhola Sadiya Bridge. Which is the longest river of peninsular India is? Answer: Godavari. Which is the highest plateau in India? Answer: Deccan Plateau. Which is the highest waterfall in India? Answer: Kunchikal Falls. Which is the national reptile of India? Answer: King Cobra. Which is the southernmost city of India? Answer: Kanyakumari. Which is the oldest dam in India? Answer: Kallanai Dam. Which is the highest mountain in India? Answer: K2. Which is the national anthem of India? Answer: Janagana Mana. How many lines are in Ashoka Pillar? Answer: 4 lines. How many union territories are there in India? Answer 8 union territories. How much time India is ahead of Greenwich Mean Time? Answer 5.30 hours. What body of water lies to the west of India? Answer Arabian Sea. When is India's Independence Day? Answer August 15th. Which is the national tree of India? Answer Banyan tree. Which is the largest state in Northeast India? Answer Arunachal Pradesh. What is the longest river in India? Answer Brahmaputra. What Indian city is the capital of two states? Answer Chandigarh. Which is the highest railway bridge in India? Answer Chenab Bridge. Which is India's oldest national park? Answer Corbett National Park. Which is the national fruit of India? Answer mango. Which Indian festival is known as the Festival of Lights? Answer Diwali. Which is the largest union territory of India? Answer Jammu and Kashmir. Which is the national heritage animal of India? Answer elephant. Which is the national river of India? Answer Ganga. Which is the national aquatic animal of India? Answer Ganges River Dolphin. What is India's smallest state by area? Answer Goa. Which river is known as Dakshin Ganga? Answer Godavari. Which is the longest dam in India? Answer Hirakud Dam. Which Indian festival is associated with colors? Answer Holi. Which is the national flower of India? Answer Lotus. What is the total area of India? Answer 3.287 million square kilometers. Which is the national calendar of India? Answer Saka calendar. Which is the national monument of India? Answer India Gate. Which is the national animal of India? Answer Tiger. Who wrote the national anthem of India? Answer Rabindranath Tagore. Which is the national song of India? Answer Vande Mataram. Which is the largest state in India? Answer Rajasthan. Who was the first Prime Minister of India? Answer Jawaharlal Nehru. Thanks for watching. For more videos, please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell icon.